Hello, and welcome once again to the new Videocast, powered by the IR team. My name is Jörg Friedman, and I am the IRO and Senior Director for Market Intelligence and ESG at Nubank. And today it's my pleasure to welcome here Jessica Poe, who is our General Manager for the whole lending business at Nubank. Welcome, Jess.
Thanks, Jörg. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. We're happy to have you here. And to start, Jess, could you please describe to us a bit more about the lending products that Nu currently offers?
Yeah, of course. So within our business, we have three different categories of lending products. The first, which is the most mature and has existed in Brazil since 2019, is our unsecured personal loan. And for this product, we pre-screen customers based on their credit history and how they've used different products at Nubank, for which about 25% of customers are eligible to borrow an unsecured personal loan through installments. The second type of lending that we have is secured lending. And so within secured lending, we also have three different categories of products. We've got our investment loans, investment backed loans business, where customers can lock their investment in a money box to continue to earn yield on that while borrowing against that as collateral so that they can have short term liquidity. If they have short term liquidity needs, they can use this to borrow. The second type of products we offer is called consignado, which is payroll loans here in Brazil, where consumers can borrow against their future earnings or against their paycheck. And so that has been a product that we launched fully digitally in 2023 and continue to build throughout the course of this year. The fourth category within secured lending is FGTS-backed loans. And so this is a type of loan here in Brazil where customers can borrow against their employment benefits, and they can do that in anticipation of funds that they would otherwise have available only once a year. And the third category is loans for small businesses. So we have working capital loans for small and medium businesses as well.
That's nice. And how do we compare versus the industry in terms of prices and duration in each of those categories?
No, great question. So for personal loans, we have a bit shorter duration than the industry. And for secured loans, it's where we really strive to be a price leader, so offering lower prices than most of the industry as well.
Okay. And Jess, can you give us an idea about how representative has lending become within Nubank?
So within the personal loan portfolio today, we have almost 12 million customers who have hired those products, about 9 million within the unsecured lending business, 2.5 million within our secured lending business, and about 100,000 with the working capital loans. So we feel like these are still early days, especially for secured lending and working capital, but continuing to grow as well. In fact, our lending portfolio has grown 92% from the second quarter of 2023 until the second quarter of 2024. And it's becoming an even more important part of our portfolio overall. 24% of the overall credit portfolio is within lending compared to about 19% at the same time last year.
Talking specifically about secured lending now, can you update us about how has this progressed here at Nubank?
Yeah, great question. So, since the launch of secured lending, it now accounts for about 15% of the overall originations within our overall lending portfolio. To put some of those numbers in context, our unsecured lending business in the second quarter of 2024 originated about 11.2 billion reais. That is compared to secured lending, which is originating about 1.8 billion reais. Compare that to about a year ago, and we were originating 100 million reais. And so we have seen a lot of growth coming from these products over the course of the last year. And we believe the outlook remains very positive. We will continue to see, we believe, acceleration throughout the course of the rest of this year as we launch some key product features for our consignado product, namely enhancing our portability options with top-up and refinance, and giving customers more ways to bring their loans to Nubank. In addition to that, we've also moved from 2 agreements within consignado. Today, we can serve federal employees as well as retirees and pensioners to 9 agreements. And so we have signed those agreements with 3 branches of the armed forces, as well as some of the biggest cities in Brazil, namely Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Belo Horizonte. And so we're very excited because this will enable us to share our consignado product with about 10 million customers.
Speaking of those 10 million potential customers, Can you help us quantify how big is the secured lending opportunity for Nu?
Yeah, absolutely. So, secured lending within Brazil represents 40% of the overall lending profit pool within the country. And so, it is a very meaningful product that we believe will be a continued source of growth for the company. To put that into context, the overall market is about 650 billion reais in consignado alone. When you take into account IBL and FGTS, that represents about a 750 billion reais market. And so we believe that this is going to be a very relevant opportunity for us. We also estimate that Nubank customers hold about 35% of overall secured balances within the industry, just at other banks. And so we believe this is a very relevant way for us to bring those balances to Nubank or originate those balances with Nubank to deepen our relationship with customers and continue to build primary banking relationships. It's also important to note that because of our low cost structure, we believe we can offer these products at very low rates to help customers get the best deal for them in the market and pass along the savings from our low cost operating model directly to our customers through our secured lending products.
Yeah, that's fantastic because we can tap into our pockets without having to go, to the market and we still have 35%, potential inside our books. And just to put, things into context for the audience, right now, the secured lending strategy starts with rates that can be as low as 1.3% up to 1.5% per month. And this is 20 to 30% lower than the overall industry. And do you expect secured lending, especially payroll loans, to help us mitigating risk in the overall portfolio over time?
First, I'd like to highlight something that we generally bring to the table in these discussions, which is the way we think about credit underwriting and our philosophy overall at Nubanks, which is to optimize long term decisions on behalf of our customers and the way that we do lending to ensure that we're promoting responsible financial health and making sure that we are lending to customers who, of course, can pay us back, which we believe is good for both Nubank and consumers. So, as a part of this, we always look for opportunities to expand into new segments, which may include higher credit risk, but also includes things like high income. So over time, we believe that the secured lending portfolio will deliver lower risk assets, which should help with portfolio risk overall. But we are not optimizing for this as a specific metric as we continue to take appropriate risk and grow with our higher credit risk segments as well.
So, Jess, can you elaborate more on how our secured lending speaks to our responsible credit strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's important to note that responsible lending is a critical initiative for Nubank overall, and this continues into our secured products as well. So one of the things that we are most proud about within our secured products is the transparent and flexible hiring flow within our app, direct to consumer in a digital fashion. So consumers can simulate different offers, they can simulate different loans, and they have the advantage to make sure that the loan that they are choosing to hire is the one that is best for them. And we are able to leverage our very low cost structure within Nubank to make sure that we can deliver industry leading rates for those loans. To give you some examples for FGTS, which we have talked about 30% of those consumers are hiring their first FGTS loan ever. So, giving access to this credit segment at a very low interest rate in a way that is very safe for consumers and very safe for Nubank is something that we are very excited about. Another thing to mention is that for consignado, for example, this is a market that has been that receives a lot of complaints in the central bank, and a lot of that is where customers are confused or they're not sure what they hired. As an example of some of the data here, we see that in fact, our consignado customers have an average tenure of their loan of about 60 months compared to 80 months within the industry at a very low cost. And so we believe this is one of the key reasons as to why consumer trust and consumer love of the product is so high. And so we think when consumers are empowered and they have control to choose what is best for them, we will see better outcomes for financial health. And so we're very excited about how our fully autonomous, fully digital, and very transparent Consignado can reshape some of the practices in the industry for the sake of the consumer. One of the other things that we're very excited about is portability, which will offer even lower rates for our customers.
Yes, and talking more about portability, what is our plans and how are you evolving into this direction?
Yeah, so we are very excited about the potential with portability, where consumers can bring their loan from an existing bank over to new for a lower price within the portability process, but also have the opportunity to top up their loan, to add more funds to it, to give them even more borrowing flexibility. They will also have the opportunity to refinance. And so they can change the terms of their loan or get a lower interest rate when they bring those to us. So these are key features that are just launching in the second half of this year within Nubank, but we're very excited that this can bring even more customers into our secured products. It's also important to note that portability ranges between roughly 10% of originations to up to 40% of originations, depending on the part of the economic cycle that we're in. Today, it accounts for about 25% of overall originations. And so we believe this is another very relevant reason and opportunity for customers to come to Nubank to get an amazing product at a very low price.
Jess, we also stand out in technology. So, what is the technology embedded in our lending products and how is this a competitive advantage for Nubank?
Yeah. So within our lending business, one of the key differentiators we believe is data and technology. So one of the huge benefits of scale within a lending business is that we have so much consumer data to build models, look at AI first credit, which we are planning to partner with our most recent acquisition of Hyperplane to build a next generation of AI driven credit models to deliver the best credit products and the best experiences and the lowest cost to our consumers, because we believe that with low cost, amazing products and digital experiences, we can build trust that bring customers to Nubank for life and that create the foundation of incredibly solid relationships. So we are very excited about the way that that is transforming our credit business for us and for our customers. The second one I'll mention, which is an overall competitive advantage for Nubank, is the low cost structure. So, as we've talked about, because we don't have branches, we don't have bank correspondents or pastinhas as they're known here in Brazil, we can pass those savings along directly to our customers. And so we believe our technology advantage is a direct cost saving to help consumers borrow in the most affordable way possible. The last thing I'll mention is that our technology has enabled us to invest even more in security, in making sure that we're keeping our customers safe. We have eliminated the intermediaries in the hiring process for this product. And so we believe that gives us and our customers an advantage as well.
Finally, Jess, what is next for Nubank's lending business?
So, one of the things that we're most excited about from the technological aspect is the ability to really personalize offers for customers, to allow them to choose from a broader set of product options that best meets their needs. And so, we believe that unsecured lending and secured lending are a huge part of this vision and align very much with the money platform that we're trying to build overall at Nubank. The next I would say is that lending is a huge opportunity in the way that we build principality. So, being a primary bank relationship is a key strategic lever, and lending plays a large part in this that we are very excited about as well. In particular, we believe we can better meet the needs of our high income customers with some of these secured products at low cost that we are building. And we should also mention that we are in the early days of launching lending within our international geographies as well. So, Mexico lending started in 2023, and Colombia lending will be coming in the future as well. So, we are very excited about the overall potential of our lending business and serving the 105 million customers we have across our three geographies.
This is remarkable. You know that I'm a super fan of what you have been building here. So I appreciate sharing the insights with us. I hope the audience have also enjoyed the time, and I hope to see you next at some point with even better news for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Bye bye.